Afternoon everybody, Silverbolt here, back for a Transformers review, going to be doing, as per the title page, Generations Warpath, the deluxe variety of said toy. Now obviously I have done a Warpath review previously, going back a good while now, and that was based on his Generation 1 toy. See, I actually had to research this one because I wanted to see whether, because I knew I'd done one, but I hadn't remembered what I'd said in it. So, in this video, we're going to be concentrating pretty much on Warpath Generation 1 scheme under the Dreamwave continuity and the IDW continuity. Because though Warpath is present for a lot of it, he doesn't have an awful lot of things to do, as it were. Warpath is first seen amongst Cybertron's populations in the Dreamwave continuity, observing a lot of anti-Autobot propaganda that is being pumped out by Shockwave. However, when Optimus Prime arrives, Warpath, along with most of the other Autobots, think, you know what, that's a load of crap, and joins up with Optimus Prime to fight against Shockwave's domination of Cybertron. After this has all happened, Warpath travels to Earth along with some of the other Autobots under the command of Bumblebee in the starship Orion. Promptly upon landing on Earth, they end up in a three-way battle between Sunstorm, the Autobots, and the Decepticons. And Warpath is present when the Autobots and Decepticons team up to come under Starscream's protection. However, whilst they're knocking around on Earth at this point in time, they bump into an organisation called the EDC, who want to enlist the Transformers to fight for them. This is because they are currently having a massive problem with the Insecticons. After Jazz is reactivated, Jazz agrees that they'll help the EDC, and Warpath joins along with them. After dealing with the Insecticons, Warpath, along with the other Autobots, goes to the future site of Autobot City, which is being built under the directions of the Autobot Commander Prowl. And that pretty much follows up Warpath's direction throughout the entire of the Dreamwave storylines. Dreamwave, of course, went out of business, and that was pretty much it for all of the storylines within the Transformers universe. Excuse me. However, IDW later pick up on Warpath, and Warpath is part of Hound's team guarding Thunderhead Pass, which is a bit of a drag because all they're doing is watching over the deactivated form of Thunderwing and his cultists, who are all in stasis lock. The bit of interest that came along for Warpath was when Sideswipe got a bit of a dressing down from Hound, and Warpath was present to actually view this entire dressing down, and it broke the humdrum basically. Now, when Optimus Prime informed Hound that his unit should be heading off to Earth to reinforce them there, Warpath is one of the ones that goes with them. However, the events that occur at Garrus 9, they end up getting diverted to Garrus 9 instead, because of course you had the incidents with the Wreckers. Now, on their way there, their ship was attacked by Cyclonus, and Warpath took some damage. Not an awful lot. He was able to keep going, but however, before he could get his revenge, he took down Cyclonus with a blast to the chest. Cyclonus, of course, in this continuity, is pretty much nigh on indestructible, and he escapes when they were distracted by the arrival of Thunderwing. Thunderwing, of course, being reactivated by insane lunatics, who we won't mention, but who we quite well know. Now then, the continuation in the IDW comics introduces Nova, who also becomes known as Nemesis Prime, and he attacks the Garrus 9 Penitentiary. After the recovery of the Magnificence by Hot Rod, that answered many questions about the Nova and Jahaxus' plans for the expansion. The expansion is something that continues within the ongoing storylines of IDW, as in the continuation storylines that lead on from events of All Hell, Megatron, and events surrounding it, and events before it, events after it, and things like that. When Fortress Maximus joins up with Warpath, they use the Space Bridge network to arrive on the planet Rotan and removes its Negacore. which would then return to the Dead Universe. Now, the Dead Universe is something that I really have a plan to go into in another video, because it's quite an expansive one, which I'm not going to go into at this moment in time, because obviously if I tell you half the story about the Dead Universe, what you'll end up getting is you'll end up with getting a video in 2 parts. It's not really meant to be in 2 parts. So once the Negakori is returned to the Dead Universe, it is no longer a threat to the living universe. And that pretty much covers Warpath's whole storyline throughout the IDWs. As I said, he is present, but he is not a major player in any of the events. However, he is there very much as Warpath has always been, as a bit of a foot soldier. Now, onto the toy. And as my good friend Mr. Von Rojas called the next Universe 2.0 Cyclonus, I wouldn't go that far, he doesn't have a target master. He is, however, a lovely, lovely toy. Obviously influenced by the absolutely fantastic Legends toy we had for him in 2008, which I don't believe actually got a Western release. I think it was only released through Takara in Japan. But either way, it's still an awesome, awesome toy. And I did try to find it for this video, but it's on my shelf somewhere and I couldn't find it. Now then, Warpath is a model of a tank, but that's about it. He doesn't bear a real resemblance of anything, either Earth-wise or Cybertronian-wise. He's just a tank. Okay, he is quite simple to transform in. Watch me mess it up now, of course. In that, firstly, well, this is the way I do it. You can follow the instructions, and a note on the instructions later. Pull them apart. The legs snap outwards, and then you fold the feet down and then turn them back in, and again do the same for the other leg. Obviously a little slight twist, turn them out and push them back together to give you his feet. This little grey bit here folds in, and you just push everything down so it snaps in at the waist. The arms, again, it's a fold-in system. So once you know which angle they come out at, which at this current moment in time I don't, there's the clip. Clip's on the underside, you just pull it out like so, unfold the arms, unfold the hands from inside, snap it shut. Do the same on the other side, obviously. Unlike some of the more recent Universe Classics generations, Reveal the Shields, United, whatever you want to call the line, this one is quite simple to do. Lastly, the head, you lift this little flap up that's on the front there, and with a tiny little automor feature, push the barrel of the gun in, and then we have Warpath and his very G1-esque style head, which unfortunately, if you hold it up to a bright light, is completely lacking in light piping. One of the things that has come about amongst a lot of the new toys, going back quite a few series now. Warpath comes with a very bad spring-loaded missile launcher that's here. Somewhere along the line I've lost the missile. I'm not really that bothered because I think the missile is hideous. And he also has what could be another missile launcher or a smoke launcher or something like that, flare launcher, on his shoulder. And then of course you've got the cannon in the chest, which is of course a signature for Warpath. Now, no handheld weapon, let's face it, he's already got 3, he doesn't need a 4th. Luckily with the Generations line, Hasbro decided that the whole stance they took with animated, which is good guys don't use guns, doesn't really come to play within this particular toy. Within this particular line, sorry. On the note of his instructions, the head is slightly different, and I can't find the instructions for Warpath either, probably because I've put them away because I don't need them. But the head is different in the instructions in part of the panelling, which would suggest we're going to get a retool, most likely into hard head. Now, regarding the Universe 2.0 toy, it is a lovely, lovely little toy. No waist articulation, none at all. But you do get the usual shoulders, elbows, nothing in the wrists, but it does turn at the elbow so you can simulate it. Hip joints, knee joints, no ankle joints apart from a slight bit that you can move it forward, which is just reminiscent of the which is just part of the transformation technique of turning it back into its tank mode. Either side of its legs, we'll point out, it has got written K490W, and on the other side ZOW333, which obviously means kapow and zowie. I really hate that accent, I really do. Which is just a little bit of a homage to the 80s cartoon. Warpath within the IDW comics doesn't talk like that to such a degree as he does in the cartoon, though he is still quite headstrong and quite violent. What do you expect? He's a tank. Now, if he was an ice cream truck, maybe a little bit different. But he's a tank, so it's not a surprise that he's violent. Okay. Great little toy. I remember I picked this up at Auto Assembly, and I can say that the Warpaths were flying off the shelves. I don't think anybody had any left at the end of Auto Assembly. Everybody wanted one. And I think it's a fantastic little toy. Okay, you've got definite holes in there where you can't really see, which have no purpose. They could, maybe they could have put some filler in there or something. I'm not too fussed. I still think he is an ace toy. He's not up to Universe Cyclonus 2.0 standards because he doesn't have a target master. And damn it, Scourge should have had a target master. Mind you, give it time. The rate we're seeing third-party pop stuff out, I can't imagine it'll be too long before we get before we get a fracas for Generations Scourge. But anyway, that is my review on Generations Warpath. If you can pick him up, definitely. I'm sure Andy's got him, Toys and Games have got him. If you really want to pay the import charge, Big Bad Toy Store will probably have him, so. But for now, this is Silverbolt, signing off with, I think it's actually the first Transformers review I've done in a little while, actually, so back a bit of old school. Signing off with Warpath, signing off, saying au revoir, adios, au revoir.